Hello everybody, welcome to September. So I just want to acknowledge the fact that the summer has been quite the roller coaster since I would say maybe the mid to end of July, certainly rocking our way through August. And there's just been so much change thrust upon us, and 2020 is just a challenging year, isn't it? I just want to send, my empathy to everybody for all of the craziness that, we've all had to adapt to and handle. This September, we kick it off with a full moon. So I'm conglomerating some of the things I normally do because our full moon falls on the 2nd of September. So this video today, I'm going to go into what the full moon is going to bring for us, how it kicks off the month, and then there'll be a follow-up video where you'll have readings for all your signs for the month as well. If any of you are interested to sign up for my online courses, I have a tarot course running. All of these courses are run with a video every few days that's in your inbox, and it's a thorough series of tarot. So you're going to learn major, minor, the court cards, how to spread, how to interpret, ethics, dilemmas when you're giving readings, all kinds of stuff. And the course is several months long. So for those of you who are ready to dig into something chunky, we're back in the fall, we're getting back in academic school mode, where weather's cooling off slightly depending where you are. And maybe September would be a great time. By the time we emerge in the spring, you will know your entire tarot. I also have an astrology class running online for those of you interested to really learn more thoroughly, let's say a little more academically, your astrology. That's also several months. Well, the course is a year because I'm teaching each sign in the sign that we're in. So you can still follow along with that one. And I have an intuition course that goes along with my book. That one is 11 days. So I highly recommend you might want to pick up my book, A Little Bit of Intuition. And then this is my companion course for that. And there will be also new moon and full moon intuition coaching circles, which are live Zoom classes with me. And finally, last but not least, I'm now teaching kids meditation for kids 4 to 7 or so on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on kidpass.com. So if you're looking for something for your little ones to do, or you'd like them to be introduced to meditation, you can look for that. So let's first talk about this full moon. So they call it a full corn moon, because the corn is being harvested right now, right? And it falls at 10 degrees Pisces. Pisces moons are very psychic moons. If you know anybody who has the moon in Pisces, you'll notice they just seem to have a natural way of seeing right through people or situations, but also accepting them very quickly as well, which is interesting. They'll sort of look at it and go, oh, well, they're just being them. Like, yeah, what's the big deal? I see right through it, but yeah, I just accept it. That's who they are. Or some of them definitely, some Pisces and Pisces moons get a lot of predictive psychic dreams and, all kinds of manner of intuitive messages. That's part of a Pisces moon. So is creativity. High creativity with a Pisces moon. They'll have a visionary side that they either use. They could use it artistically. They could be just, using it creatively in terms of their thinking, being resourceful, thinking outside the box for real. Some moon in Pisces find the world is too much for them. They can often feel like they don't want to be here on Earth, or they don't like this world that we're in. Or that they don't fit in it. They want to Some people literally have told me with Pisces moon they feel like they're from another dimension or another planet, or they wish they could go home and the home doesn't feel like it's here on Earth. That's a more extreme, but I do hear it a lot. And sometimes Pisces moon then can be a sign of escapism. And a lot of the time escapism with Pisces looks like takes the form of drugs and alcohol. So let's hope that it's not that, but there's an awful lot of that. The other thing that falls under the dichotomy of Pisces moon that could be escapist, or it could be their higher side, and that is the spiritual side and how they use it. So some would escape into, let's say, religion or spiritual beliefs, and they'll use it in a way to sort of bypass dealing with intense feelings or dealing with realities. For example, like somebody that's constantly saying, oh, well, you know, I must have attracted this because, or they're constantly trying to use, you know, new age concepts to explain everything. And as long as they're doing that in a way that they're not actually really solving their problems, and life is getting worse, even though they think they're going this way with their spiritual beliefs, but their life, you can see it's spinning out of control. That would be a sign that this person is using it to bypass realities they need to be looking at to solve. And then on the other hand, the highest side of the Pisces moon would be somebody who is very compassionate, very loving, and sees the world as one, and is able to be present in this world in a more compassionate way. And honestly, a lot of people who are that sensitive find that side of it very difficult to do, you know? Because when you talk about people who are able to be present on Earth and compassionate and see all the suffering, you're talking about a bodhisattva. You're talking about, you know, some rare people. But there are those people. You'll see them in different professions. You'll see them anywhere. Like, some people do have such a strong well of faith that they can do that. So this is the range of things we're looking at with a full moon. And that's just what the moon can represent. Now we're going to take a look at the cards that this full moon and this month is bringing us. All right. So I'm going to, because these are such intense times, I'm going to bring you the full reading here in just this video and not break it up into extended parts like usual. So I'm going to pull 9 cards for this full moon. And this is talking about the full moon period. So, you know, a few days before September starts into the first, you know, week to 10 days of September. What's the kickstart of your fall going to look like, sort of thing. And as usual, I'm going to burn some sage. So you might want to do the same thing at home. Give your place a nice cleanse. Yeah, we'll do the cards too. All right, what does September bring to us? This full moon. So the first card is the Two of Swords, the card of peace. 2 swords piercing a flower, wings in the background, light yellow and green are the colors, and we see the moon and Libra, and it says peace. So here you have 2 choices, 2 sets of ideas, 2 people coming to the picture to decide or negotiate or compromise. So if you have been in any situations in August that require sitting down and having a peace talk or a negotiation, this could be your time. And the first card bodes well for that, for it to be one where everybody is wanting things to be fair. The moon in Libra wants things to be fair and square. So think about who or what that might be. And of course, more broadly, this could represent negotiations as people go back to school. All kinds of manner of things where people sit down at the table and speak peacefully. Our second card is the Prince of Cups. Now, he could easily be a Cancer or a Pisces sign. He's a water sign. He's staring down at the snake inside his cup, and he looks pretty freaked out. And there's all these waves behind him. And yet he's still letting this, it looks like an eagle, but it's, it's in the water. But his carriage is a bird. And the waters ahead of him look fairly calm, but he's stirring up waves behind him. So this is somebody who is emotional and confused and maybe a bit lost and has maybe some trouble making firm decisions or commitments. And so instead of making things better, they're making things messier for others. So you might want to think who that represents. That could be somebody that you need to sit down at that peace talk with and let them know, like, hey man, you know, or woman, whatever, you're making things worse, even though you don't mean to, but you are, maybe by your fear, the fear of the snake, the fear of change. Oh my God, what's happening? I don't know what to do. Oh my God. And instead of conscious action, just reaction, and therefore making waves, making it worse. Now our next card is the Princess of Swords. So you have somebody in there who's willing to fight, who's willing to speak, who's combative. She's clever, and you're not going to dominate her. She might not always have her thinking on straight. She might be missing some nuance of the situation, but she is going to fight. So if these are the two people that you have for your peace talk, you're going to need to do this artfully, because this one will be ready to attack or defend and use her intellect or her wit and her words. And the other one is going to be like, oh, this is too much for me. I don't know. I'm not sure. And this one's like, tell me, hurry up, tell me. So let's just see who else shows up at this reading now. Our next card is the Nine of Discs, so money, wealth. This is Virgo, this card. There's Virgo symbols on the card, Venus in Virgo. Venus in Virgo is very particular, very detailed, very nitty-gritty, like forensic accountant or something like that. Things are precisely named or put in their order or place. So this is a card where, yes, it's money, but there's a lot of, so you may need to do, or these issues might revolve around budgeting or money somehow that you're in the peace talks over. But it also can be a card sort of strategic with your money, strategic about your life. Venus in Virgo is like, no, I wanted only the yellow roses and the tall ones for that table. I know what I want. I want that. I will tell you. Precisely. So there's something going on with that level of, could be pickiness, fussiness, could also just be, I know what I want. That's what it is. Interesting. Followed by, excuse me, it's cold, followed by the Six of Swords. So another card of precision. It says science, Mercury in Aquarius, very sort of cool, detached, keeping your head calm and clear, a scientific mindset. All the swords now, there's multiple swords, and they meet in the middle at a cross instead of piercing a flower. So it's interesting, like the situation will evolve to where there might be more people involved than just the first two. But everybody's coming to the table really strategically here. This has got a strong feeling of a lot of planning, some research, and some planning is going to be required with like a academic, scientific type of mind, not an emotional one. Now we've got the Prince of Swords, which, you know, nobody really likes this guy too much when they encounter him. He's the kind of guy that might sell you something and be really shiny and clever and wear the right suit, but very quickly you see that he's two-faced with his words, or he talks too fast. He confuses the situation. He might be lying. He might be just like a total scatterbrain. He's not reliable. So you've got this guy at the table as well. Possibly whoever this is could be the person involved in why there needs to be so much strategic planning. I don't know. You got to keep this guy in check. You got to keep this guy at bay. You got to hold him accountable. He has to honor his word. He has to honor his deadlines. You have to check up on his budgeting. You know, this guy is not somebody you leave unattended, even if he's smart, because he's a trickster. He's too often a trickster. Oh boy. Now we have the Ten of Wands. So the situation with that could devolve. This is Saturn in Sagittarius is the oppression card. Your freedom feels taken from you. You feel trapped. Now, hard to say until I pull the other two, but very likely if you have all of these very solid, you know, clear thinking, planning, limits. I want that one there. This is what we have left for that. This is how we're going to do that. This is the plan. And then you get this guy involved. He could feel this way. He could feel trapped. He could start to make problems because he doesn't want to have to respect those limits or boundaries of other people, or he doesn't want to go with the plan. Because this card sort of comes out of nowhere in the reading. So I'm going to take a look at the next two. Okay. The Star card comes up. The Star is hopes and ideals and dreams and higher thinking and visioning and recognition. This is very interesting after that Ten of Wands. I get a feeling you may be in a position where you have to walk away from this type of Prince of Swords guy, or you may have to remove him from where you are, whether that's you know, could be breaking up with someone, could be firing someone, could be just collaboration that ain't working out amongst, you know, informally, not your job. But it's funny because the the Star means, yes, good. It's going to get better if you remove that energy. Like, you're going to finally be on track. Something will allow you to open up and dream and be inspired again and shoot for something higher, because this other person is a liability. You know, you've got the Prince and Princess of Swords who can both, pardon me, be a little difficult, and the Prince of Cups, even though he's not so difficult, he's just like, yeah, I don't know. Well, how do you feel? I don't know. What do you want to do about that problem? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Well, maybe I want this, maybe I want that. Can't tell. So you've got nobody really sinister, but you've got sort of three influences that are not really strong in who they are or where they stand or what they, you know, and then you've got these really strong, like, visioning and precision and pointing the path kind of cards. There's something very lopsided then, isn't there? Oh boy. Our last card is the Death card. Wow, this is going to be a big month. Okay, don't be afraid of the Death card. I'm smiling because something really, I just feel something really good will come. of all of your precision planning, okay? Whatever you're analyzing, getting clear on, whoever you need to bring to the table, talk to, set limits with, whatever happens out of that, you're clearing the deck for the star to arrive. And the death card means your situation is about to flip-flop again. Something surprising, and something I'd say for the better. So death card always turns out for the better in the end. There's a surprise. I'm going to pull one more because we're ending off on that one. It's a little, you know, could be scary for people. Oh, nice. We end off at the luxury card. 4 of Cups. And this is also a card that looks like wealth, isn't it? So, this card is emotionally content. There's bounty, there's support, there's flow of money, there's a flow of kindness or friendship, or all your needs are met, your fridge is full kind of feeling. It's Moon in Cancer. Moon in Cancer is nurturing and comforting, and you know, look at those beautiful fountain heads with the water is all clean and clear, how fancy and pretty, and the flower is blooming fully, the waters are clean and clear. You can enjoy yourself. If you take these actions that I'm saying, if you talk about these 2 cards and you just get a sense of the complexity that they have, there's a lot of work and thought that goes into these 2 things. These 2 things can represent, you know, let's say, if it were government, it would be like announcing the budget for the year. Enormous work and thought goes into that. You know, this could be applying to your business, your career, moving or buying or selling a house, or your next big steps. And it involves these other people that are around that are sort of, you know, a little difficult or not so reliable. So you come up with your really solid, oops, no middle finger there. You come up with your really solid plans and stick to it. And if it removes the deck, if it clears away some of these people, just let it, because you've got the star. The star is going to bring back the hope. The death card brings you some surprise, and the surprise leads you towards comfort or luxury. So don't be afraid to make some big changes this fall. Wow. Okay, I'm going to talk about the astrology chart now. More details. So the first feeling I did get, even just looking at the chart configuration, was that there was a lopsidedness to the chart. If you look in the video, I'm going to put up the chart in it. You can sort of see that the planets are all hanging out on one side, clustering around, and then there's nothing down here, and it looks like almost like something's looming and about to drop. Like there's one little planet, Venus, opposing these heavies in Capricorn. So it's almost like, you know, little David and Goliath, like, please. You know, appealing, one little sensitive child appealing to, you know, some corporate or king or some, you know, Capricorn energy, like, have mercy, please, you know, kind of feeling. Now, it also suggests some conflicts from these lopsided situations. You know, lopsided is like the odds are stacked too high in one direction or another, or on one person's side or another, or it's out of balance and it's unfair. And there's Mars in Aries is squaring off with that Venus in Cancer. That's, you know, that like the little kid appealing to like the king, please, can I have some more, you know? And Mars in Aries is squaring off with that, and it wants to fight. It wants enjoys fighting. It gets energy from being a warrior. And so it wants to take it on, yell, scream, fight, call the cops, pull out the swords, whatever. So whatever is lopsided and really unbalanced and unfair, I'm expecting all manner of setting it straight. Now, if you go with the cards that I just pulled, I would suggest you do it with planning and strategy and rationale. But what the planets say is that, you know, there'll be protesting, there'll be arguing, there'll be people just rebelling against things, there'll be people with making dramatic exits. And those kind of times of high conflict, they aren't fun, but they also reveal the truth of the matter very often, where you stand, where you don't, what's possible and what's not, right? And from there, when you get a raw assessment of where the energy is between you and your workplace, your home, other friends, family members, spouse, kids, you know, the school board versus you, whatever it's going to end up being, the hospitals versus the government, everyone's going to sort of feel this lopsidedness and this conflict. And once you figure out where you stand, you can make decisions, you can make new plans, you can assess things. And yeah, it could be a bit depressing, but it can also be liberating too. The other thing is that we have the Sun and Mercury in Virgo, which, you know, leads very much to that precision and like naming things, categorizing things, putting things in order, making them efficient, analyzing everything down to the last T. And we have that opposing the Moon in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces. So we've got a really strong pull towards precision and order. And then we have an equally strong pull that's like, huh? Were we saying something? Oh, sorry. What? I was spaced out. Yeah. So hopefully that makes it sort of clear. The Virgo versus the Pisces, Neptune. Woo. Now, that can be nice. Sometimes the Neptune and Moon could lead you to amazing transcendental meditations, could lead you to writing a song or a poem, could lead you to having, you know, fantastic dreams, nice little trip, whatever that means to you. Doesn't make it very easy to plan and strategize though, and there'll be lots of earth energy that wants things to roll and have plans. So again, that could be part of the lopsided dynamic that we might see, is like some people trying to pin something down. Can we please decide this? Can we please get that done? And the other's just like, can't pin me. Could we please, could you just sit still? The clouds are swirling around. So yeah, this could be part of the conflicts that we see as well. People being escapist, evasive. And then that Mars in Aries, though, is still just going to get in there and go, screw that. Stop arguing. You know, I want to. So there's that in the air too. The good, you know, if you're stuck in that whole thing of one trying to pin down the other, one is like floating and spaced out, and the other, it's really almost feels pointless, doesn't it? You might need to bring in extra party, extra help. Wait a bit, give it some space. The other thing, again, that's operating, and the harmonious aspects of this full moon would be that Sun, Mercury, and Virgo, making good aspects to Uranus and Taurus, and making good aspects to Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. So what we have going on is a very strong Earth trine, what we'd say. And trine is like a triangle. The planets meet at a harmonious angle, and therefore they're working well together. They're flowing, and they don't need to really try to make things happen. And because it's Earth versus the Neptune and Pisces, Moon, Pisces, and Venus in Cancer, which are more emotional, the stronger force, or the heavier force, could be the lopsided force, but the stronger force is the Earth. Bottom line, where's the money? Get her done. Not practical. Yeah, so you could be feeling, if you're more the emotional, sensitive, artistic type person, you could be feeling a little crushed by that sometimes, by bureaucracy, by, you know, what's going on, and forces bigger than you in the world could weigh on you at this time. Feeling powerless sometimes, perhaps, misunderstood because of your sensitivities. It might push you to want to retreat further into your cocoon or your, you know, your interests. And if you can do that, that might be a coping strategy, as long as it's healthy and you get other things done. But there's something of a, I don't know if I'd call it a reckoning quite, but there's almost that feeling of a reckoning. Do you know what I mean? Where things have been one-sided for too long, and there's a rising force that says, no, you can't do that anymore. And, you know, when that force gets strong enough to actually tackle or oppose this one equally, you have a reckoning, you have a, something has to change and it rebalances. The other one has to relent. We're not quite there, but it's in the air. That's the feeling I'm getting. Getting closer to that point, but not quite it yet. So all I will say to end this off before we go into the individual signs is, if you need to make a change and you are thinking of making new plans and putting some solid work and research into what you want to change, go for it. If you are in a position where you need to set your boundaries straight, stand up for your rights to make a change in your life, and you've got the energy and the confidence to do it and the faith to do it, do it. If you're finding that it's all too much and too overwhelming, what we're saying, you might need to honor those watery planets, cocoon, lay low, rest, do other things with your time, be creative with your time, meditate, take care of yourself, strengthen yourself until you're at a point where you're ready to take a stand if you need to. But we're not always all there at the same time, right? So let's just leave off with one thing about that full moon. It falls at 10 degrees Pisces, which every degree in the zodiac has what's called a sabian symbol, like a story, an image, or allegory for that particular degree of the zodiac. So they're quite interesting, and a lot of astrologers, we use them for prediction. Now, this sabian symbol for 10 degrees Pisces is an aviator in the clouds. It's brilliant. It's brilliant with everything we just said. It honors the daredevil side of Mars and Aries. It honors the Capricorn because it's like airplanes, you know, and like serious stuff. It honors the Pisces because it's in the air, it's in the clouds, but it's an aviator, so it's very Virgo-like. It's got to be very precise up there in that plane while he's floating in the clouds. So this is a month where you have to feel your way through. You have to navigate with your intuition and your feelings until you figure out what this lopsided situation is about and what you are able and willing to do to correct it. So stay tuned for your personal readings for your sign for the month of September.